Hello to SCTV and welcome back here to the channel, guys, for another video. And of course, today we are going to be previewing the game between Real Betis and Barcelona. Round 20 of the La Liga season is about to get underway, and it will not be an easy visit to the Benito Villamarín to face Real Betis in a game where we must bounce back from our first loss of the season so far. So we're going to be going over everything you need to know ahead of this clash on Sunday evening, coming right up. And as always, guys, sponsored by the One Football app, which is always down in the description below. 93% of One Football app users believe that Barcelona will come away from tomorrow's game with a win. And also in my personal poll on my community tab, you guys, as always, in fantastically confident mood, the majority of you thinking that we will escape tomorrow's game with a win by 2 or more goals. That's the current poll as it is right now with the live results. And guys, tomorrow's game will kick off at quite a familiar, this is the sort of time we've been seeing in recent weeks, 8:45 local time, Spanish evening, the last game on the Sunday, and here, as always, is the time where you are in the world. And due to results happening today, we will have a chance to extend our lead at the top of the table to an unbelievable 11 points. So that's an incredible margin there. If we can get this win, that is a massive gap that I really don't see. If we continue on this path, surely nobody's going to close that. Really good to see. And that basically comes after our fellow neighbours, our Catalan neighbours, not Espanyol, the good guys. Girona today holding Atletico Madrid to a 1-0 draw at the Wanda Metropolitano. Atletico took the lead through Antoine Griezmann. A lot of talk right now in the Catalan media about Griezmann coming to Barca. Barcelona officially denying those rumours today, but we'll have to wait and see what comes of that. But Girona equalised with just 17 minutes to go to hold Atletico Madrid to a 1-0 draw, and that means that they've taken points off both Atletico and also Real Madrid this season. So fantastic work from Girona to have an unbelievable debut season in La Liga. And later on tonight, Valencia could go level with Atletico in second place on 43 points. They will play away at Las Palmas, where they will expect to win against the bottom team in La Liga. Real Madrid will play tomorrow. They'll host Deportivo La Coruña at the Santiago Bernabeu, and they're currently outside of the top four. Villarreal beat Levante today, moving into the top four. Real Madrid, as it stands, are lying in 5th position. So really interesting results in La Liga today. It's all to play for. Everybody seems to be competing right now. But if we can win tomorrow, we very much take ourselves away from all that, and we'll be sitting very pretty at the top of La Liga. But like I say, tomorrow's game, by any stretch of the imagination, will not be an easy one, and even more so because of what happened in the week against Espanyol. That is, for me, the biggest barrier going into this game. That's the biggest thing that we have to overcome. The hurdle we really have to get over. Because it's a real mental challenge to go unbeaten for 29 games, exactly as we have since the start of the season, and then to lose that not only against any team, but against Espanyol, our city rivals. It was a really hostile game. We didn't deserve to lose it, but we did. And we've got to get themselves back in the game now. The players are going to be mentally ready to overcome that, move on, and make sure we're focusing on this game and this game only. Even though next Thursday, of course, at the Camp Nou, we will have massive aspirations of overturning that deficit, and also really giving Espanyol a good beating at the Camp Nou. But right now, our focus is on Real Betis. We've got to get back to winning ways. That's our first loss in a competitive match since the Super Cup back in August, and we've got to get our mind back on Real Betis at the Benito Villamarín and get back to winning ways. And Betis, of course, are the team that we did face in our first La Liga game of the season. That was back in August at the Camp Nou. An own goal on that day, and also a Sergio Roberto goal coming from a midfield position. Something we certainly haven't seen a lot of as the season has gone on. But they were our first game in the league, a 2-0 win on that day, and we'll be hoping to replicate something like that when we do go away tomorrow evening. But if the previous meetings in Seville are to go by, it really will not be an easy place to go. In our last 10 visits to Real Betis, 4 wins, which is very good, but also 4 wins and 2 losses in that time. It's never been an easy place. It's a very hostile atmosphere. It's a very good crowd there. They're not always the nicest to us. The challenges do get a bit fierce there, but it's a very good place to go. Very atmospheric stadium, and it will not be easy in that game. And particularly if you look at last season, nearly a year to the day now, back in January of last year, we drew 1-0 with Real Betis, but it was a very controversial game. I'm sure you'll remember Luis Suarez scoring in the last few minutes, but not only that, we were disallowed a perfectly good goal, very similar to the one we suffered against Valencia this season. The ball was clearly over the line. Luis Suarez deservingly getting the goal, but it was not given because of that lack of goal line technology. And still, here we are today in La Liga. Still, they have no technology, and we've seen the mistakes once again this season. But denied a perfectly good goal last season, we drew there. And Betis this season really are a bit of a mixed bag. You know, they have been up and down. They produced some magnificent results. You know, they won at the Santiago Bernabeu. A late goal from Antonio Sanabria on that day. That was one of my highlights of the season. That goal in the last few minutes at the Bernabeu, they completely shot Real Madrid. Really led to their downfall, I think, this season. But they've had some absolutely incredible results. They beat Sevilla just a week or so ago in the Seville derby. That was 5-3 on the day. Absolutely incredible game last Monday. They won 3-2 against Leganes. They got a 5-3 defeat in the Copa del Rey to Cadiz, who are in the Segunda Division. A 2-0 draw with Girona. Getafe. They lost 6-3 to Valencia. The one thing you can guarantee this season from Real Betis is goals. In any game they play in, I can guarantee you now there will be goals. And for that reason, we will be going into tomorrow's game confident. Certainly with Messi and Suarez leading our team. Messi top goal scorer in La Liga with 17 goals. Suarez the next top with 13. We will definitely feel like we can go there tomorrow and certainly score goals against what is the 3rd worst defence in La Liga. And the other 2 teams below them are both in the relegation zone. Betis currently in 9th position, but definitely vulnerable at the back. And certainly Valverde will be looking to really pinpoint that and target that area in tomorrow's game. And speaking of Ernesto Valverde, he did confirm early on today that Rafinha missed training today because he is finalising his move to Inter Milan. And he also did confirm that Felipe Coutinho had returned to first team training. So Coutinho very much on schedule to return and make his debut next week, possibly against Espanyol, most likely against Alaves, but definitely next week we should be seeing Coutinho in a Barca shirt. And here, Ernesto Valverde has named the squad that will face Real Betis tomorrow night. Ter Stegen, Nelson Semedo, Gerard Piqué, Rakitic, Sergio Busquets, Suarez, Messi, Citizen, Paulinho, Deulofeu, Alba, Dini, Roberto, Andre Gomez, Alex Vidal, Samuel Umtiti, Thomas Mullen, and once again, Carlos Alenya. A few things to note from the squad. I'm really pleased once again to see Carlos Alenya included, even if he doesn't get any minutes on the pitch tomorrow. It is good to see once again B players being called into the squad. We've seen it with our Knight, who's currently out with a small injury right now. Alenya in the squad once again. He played against Espanyol in the midweek, and I think he performed very well on that day, considering the circumstances. And Valverde very pleased with his efforts. He is once again in the squad for tomorrow's game. But a massive inclusion. You're all very happy. I am very happy to see the great wall of Samuel Umtiti return to the team. He was due to be back in the first week of February, and somehow he has actually got back nearly 2 weeks before that time. An absolute warrior, an absolute beast, and we're all very much looking forward to seeing him out on the pitch once again in Barca colours at the heart of our defence. However, when we move on to my predicted lineup now, I have chosen not to include Samuel Umtiti simply because I don't want to throw him back in too early. Like I say, Betis is a very hostile atmosphere. It will be a full-blooded game tomorrow. I wouldn't personally throw Umtiti into that, and also because the Marlon who came in to replace him has been absolutely incredible in his absence. So I go with Ter Stegen, Alba, the Marlon, Piqué, Semedo, and then in the midfield for Busquets, Rakitic, Roberto, Paulinho with Suarez and Messi up front. And let me just explain this line, because I think against Real Betis, a team who are very susceptible defensively, we should be doing everything tomorrow to really target that, like I say, get Messi and Suarez getting as many chances as possible, and I think play Paulinho just behind the two, because Paulinho we know is a threat going forward. As a midfield player, it's questionable, but as a good player going forward, looking to get on the chances, arriving at the right time of the year, finishing things off, he can do a job. And in this kind of game, against a team who don't defend brilliantly, who aren't fantastically structured, I think Paulinho could certainly get himself on the score sheet. He could help Messi and Suarez, and I think he could be a real threat in this kind of game. And then behind him, we need a bit of support. I think Rakitic is certainly suitable. I think we need to see Roberto once again, just like in the reverse fixture, see him in the field. He can definitely do a job there. He can give us energy, he can give us a good bit of creativity as well. You've seen him with his bursting runs. He can do a job in that midfield area. And then behind the two of them, holding everything together, Sergio Busquets. And for that reason as well, Semedo on that right side, he can give us width, he can give us pace, the same as Jordi Alba can on the other side. And I think that lineup against a team like Betis would do more than well enough to win this game, and I think it'd be a very, very good team to line up with in tomorrow's game. But as always, guys, it's not just all about me. Let me know your line of predictions in the comments down below. And now, of course, I'm going to give my score prediction, and I'm going to go with Barcelona 3, Real Betis 1 tomorrow. I think Messi is definitely going to get on the score sheet tomorrow. Suarez as well. Both of them on form right now, certainly in the league. Suarez looking back to his very, very best. Hopefully he can continue that scoring run against Betis tomorrow. So I'm going to go with a scoreline of 3-1 Barca. Leave all your predictions and all your thoughts down below, guys. Who do you think should come into this lineup? What do you think the score is going to be tomorrow night? Hopefully we can get back to winning ways. I'm very, very confident that we can, even though this will not be an easy game. But we definitely have the tools to get the job done. Valverde has the tactical knife to get us over the line. Let me know your thoughts down below. I will, of course, see you tomorrow with reaction. I will see you then. But until then, as always, Vasca! El Barça!